June 29th, right? Is half-day sitting and Bodhisattva Jukai ceremony. And it would be real, the Enos would love you to death. They love you to death anyway, or to life or whatever. If you can sign up, then we'll know, we'll have a sense of how many people are coming. And tonight is precepts. Brought some precepts books. And making the bridge, I guess, from precepts to koan study in case one. There are so many sounds and cries in the world at this time. Amazing June day. And I think we're all probably aware of what's happening in LA and beyond. And it just seems to me the Dharma is amazing because it just cuts through. It just gives some ground in the center of it to ignite wonder and to soften and tenderize us so that we can remember compassion and interconnection. So I was, the precepts tonight, it's like, wow, the 3 pure precepts. These are so cool. These are not far away in something else. This is like, this just speaks to the heart of how do we be here? And the koans. So I was realizing that as I was sitting that I probably had too many things to say, which is funny about koans because it's kind of about taking you beyond your mind and language and this and that. And but we'll see what happens. Koan study, just really briefly, in my own in Soto Zen, koan study is just their family stories. They're just like passed along, and you just kind of like swim in them, and they enter you, and you carry them, and they carry you, and you wake up in them. They wake you up. You wake them up. My Rinzai, which I've never practiced, is my understanding is it's much more, you sit with the koan really intensely, you run into the teacher, you give your answer. Norman Fisher said he studied with Aiken Roshi for a while, and he'd run in, he'd give his answer, Aiken Roshi would go, wrong, ring the bell, and then you'd stand up and you'd run out again, and then the next person runs in. And so it's a really different way of being. My intuitive sense is that I would probably just die. I mean, the idea is to get you to go, it's always to just get you to go beyond your thinking mind. And there's so many different ways, which leads us to what I want to do today with case number 1 and with all the cases I'm hoping as we bring forward. We have the 3 commentaries from the 3 women teachers that I gave a little introduction to last week. And I also, we have these commentaries are all based on the translation of the Blue Cliff Records using Thomas Cleary's, well, actually, the collection that she used, Beata Grant, when she translated this, is from the 13th century anthology. I like the name of this, The Comprehensive String of Pearls. Isn't that nice? Just the comprehensive string of pearls of praise verses from the Chan school, which is where Miao Zhang's original, that's what she was commenting on, and then the 2 other women teachers commented on her and together. but the source is the Blue Cliff Records. I didn't bring the traditional Blue Cliff Records, but I did bring just so I'll show you. This is the Book of Equanimity, Jerry Schwieshen-Wick, Illuminating Classic Zen Koans. I think his ground is the Blue Cliff Records, which is more Rinzai. The Gateless Barrier, the Mumon Khan, classic translation by Robert Aiken, which I'm probably not going to delve into much because I'm not that familiar with it. And the Book of Serenity, which is the ground of Soto Zen. And I will call on this because they're different. They're just a little different. And my experience is, it's to me this conversation across time and space. And the translations of the koans are just a little bit different, you'll see. And then it's like, to me, it's like turning a diamond. And it's like one view helps you illuminate this facet, and then you turn it, another facet is illuminated, and it's all there's something that each koan is pointing at, although it's all the same thing. And I was thinking, when I was a therapist, I used to one of the things I specialized in was hypnotherapy. And if you want to put someone in a trance, which is to take them beyond their thinking mind, is you touch different sense gates. It's like you would say something from this side and something from this side and something so that the thinking mind gets scrambled. It can't remember who it is anymore, and then you help people open into a deeper space. And I think that's kind of my experience of koans and what they do. So we'll see what happens. And this particular koan focuses on Shakyamuni Buddha, but Manjushri, who is the bodhisattva of wisdom. Manjushri, if you've been to Green Gulch, Manjushri is the bodhisattva of wisdom, is usually the central figure in the Zendo. So that big, beautiful statue in the center of Green Gulch, that's Manjushri. Manjushri is traditionally depicted as a young prince with a sword cutting through duality. That particular one is beautiful in that she holds a lotus, which is the Prajna Paramita teachings, which is also just the sword of cutting through duality. So that's a little bit of orientation for where we're going. So I thought I would start with Jerry Schwieshen-Wick. I like his commentaries. He's kind of. I was also thinking your T-shirt looks like Manjushri.
It sort of does.
Yeah, it kind of does.
It's actually an anime figure, but it actually
this stuff all yeah. So so let me just read you a little bit from him, because he can kind of play in the koans, and he's kind of normal. I thought, he's not trying to make this something obscure. There's sometimes I just think, probably in everything, but in Zen, it's like, why can't you just say what you mean? I mean, it's just, and you can't exactly say what you mean, because you're not trying to track that way. But I think anyway, you'll see. I think he's kind of helpful. Okay, here's the main case. One day, the world-honored one ascended the platform or the seat and took his seat. Manjushri struck the sounding post, bomp, and said, "When you realize the Dharma King's Dharma is just as is." That's a little different than what I read you earlier. See just slight turn in the translation. The one I read you before Zazen, the Dharma of the Dharma King is like this. So here we have the turning word is just as is. At that, the world-honored one descended from the platform. Here's the appreciatory verse. Do you see the true nature of the primal stage? Can you see all the way through this to the true nature of everything? Mother Nature goes on weaving warp and woof. The woven old brocade contains the images of spring, and nothing can be done about the spring god's Manjusharis outflowing. Here's a little commentary. Part of why I want to bring these different ones forward, maybe you won't be as entertained as I am, but I think the poetic images and metaphors that they use, so much of it's about nature. It's just like, you'll I think there's one that maybe we'll get to, it's about a praying mantis. It's like, just go be where you are and see what's happening in front of you. When you truly understand the Dharma, it's just thus, just this. It's as is. All kinds of words and phrases have been invented in Zen to express thusness and as isness, but none are needed. Don't add anything extra. Just let everything be as it is. That's liberation. This seems straightforward. Wait a minute. Oh, here, I skipped something. What does it mean to let it all be and let it all go? And what about when you can't let it go? What then? Well, if you're holding on, hold on. That's liberation too. Let the Dharma King's Dharma be as is. This seems straightforward, but subtlety comes in each moment. Each moment, how do you practice the Dharma King's Dharma? And let me ask you this. How do you practice Zen? If you think you're going to become something else, sorry, you're fooling yourself. If you think that you don't need to practice Zazen because everything is perfect as it is, that is an erroneous view. The first line of the verse says, do you see the true manner of the primal stage? This is inviting us to realize the truth of ultimate reality. The Dharma King's Dharma is as is. If you continue to be frightened and to maintain your judgment about being frightened, then you are not truly feeling fright. You are holding on to your opinions. By accepting your experience without judgments, you allow transformation to take place. His teacher was Maizumi Roshi, who said, appreciate your life. Suzuki Roshi said, just to be alive is enough. Appreciate every moment of this life as the life of the Dharma King. That's pretty clear. I mean, living it is a whole other thing, but he's not trying to be cute or confuse you. I mean, not that anybody does, but just to be alive is enough. Appreciate your life. I want to do my own commentary here, but I was trying to think about where to put it. I think I'll just add a few more things to here for you guys to soak into. So here's the commentary from the Book of Serenity. One day, the world-honored one ascended the seat. When the great assembly had gathered and settled down, Manjushri struck his gavel and said, observe deeply. The Dharma of the Dharma King and the Dharma of the Dharma King is like this. The world-honored one then came down from his seat. So what is this? Gets up on the seat, gets down from the seat, doesn't say anything. Manjushri says, this is it. This is it. So this is a commentary from the Book of Serenity. I thought it was, I like the images. We'll see how you are with it. As the woof goes through the warp, that's when you're weaving, right? And it's the thing that goes through the threads. The weave is dense and fine. A continuous thread comes from the shuttle, making every detail. How could this even be spoken of on the same day as false cause or no cause? It's like you try to turn it into this, everything's perfect, everything's not perfect. This weaving is just weaving and being woven moment after moment, the whole universe. But isn't it cool that these old Chinese commentaries that were mostly written by men are talking about warp and woof and weaving, that it was such an intimate part of their life. After this, the verse eulogizes the world-honored one's easygoing abundance. Easygoing abundance, that's a nice phrase. Saying, weaving the ancient brocade, incorporating the forms of spring. Although this is like insects living on wood, happening to make patterns. Stay with that image. Can you see it? Can you feel it? Nevertheless, though he makes his cart behind closed doors, when he brings it out, it fits in the groove. Looks like nothing's happening, but something's happening. What is it? Finally, to Manjushri, he gives a cutting put down, retorting, nothing can be done about Manjushri's leaking. That's part of the commentary, is Manjushri is just leaking because he said something at all. Manjushri struck the gavel and the world honor one thereupon got down from the platform. When Kashapa struck a gavel, 1,000,000,000 Manjushris appeared. All are this same kind of situation. Why are gathering in and letting go not the same? You tell me, where is it that Manjushri has leaked, doing too much, giving too much? Carefully to open the spice tree buds. To open the spice tree buds, he lets out the free spring on the branches. It's just often in Zen, it's a sound. It just cuts through. Just, that wasn't a very good one, but you get the idea. You just strike it. And it's like the whole universe, the way you think it is, shatters into a million pieces because it's never was one finite thing. And spring is, I mean, you can just go out right now and look at spring. It's like, what is it? Try to grab hold of it. So now we have, see, I'm just going to overwhelm you with images and then you're just going to have to go beyond. So here's Mahjong from our source book, her commentary on all of this. The true teaching has been transmitted in its entirety. No method, worldly or sacred, has been kept hidden. This is it. Ascends the seat, gets down from the seat. The sound happens, it cuts through. Nothing happened and something happened. This is it. Just this. The prison gates shatter into 100 bits. There's the shattering again. What's this shattering? Into 100 bits and pieces, the brilliance of flinty spark and lightning flash. It's like that's waking up in the midst of the density of you just think you know who you are and you think you know what's going on and it's good or it's bad and you like it and you don't like it. And then there's just a moment where everything just penetrates. And then, of course, the next minute, you're right back to worrying about whatever you're worrying about or what, but just penetrates all the way through. Here's Chan Master Baoshi, who's now commenting on Mahjongs, who's commenting on the ones that I just read you. A single eyelash in your eye. Falling sky flowers. So here's the Dogen, there's a whole fascicle about this. So an eyelash in your eye distorts your vision, right? And sky flowers refers to the spots that appear in your eye. Well, here she says, when you press your finger against your eyelid, you should do it, see what happens. Press your finger against your eyelid. Certainly changes. The character in it means emptiness, flowers of emptiness, the illusory nature of what we ordinarily take to be substantial and real. So when flowers are talked about, which they often are in the sutras and in the commentaries, they're all flowers of emptiness. They're illusory. And if you look at a flower, the reason it's beautiful is because it's beautiful, but it's also because it's so ephemeral. They're shattering into 100 million thousand pieces and shattering the whole universe each moment just by being a flower, being a flower. A single eyelash in your eye, falling sky flowers, a single sound in your ear, a poison smeared drum. You want to hear a story about poison smeared drum? You have to say yes, or I'm going to tell you. Okay, you convinced me. Anyone who hears or reads these poems will find their defilements destroyed. It's like you're not going to believe your own greed, hate, and delusion and karma in the same way. And it's from the Nirvana Sutra, the Parinirvana Sutra. And here's the line. Imagine a man who painted a great drum with a medicine made up of a mixture of poisons. When he pounded that drum in a crowd, even those with no inclination to listen would nevertheless hear it. And all who did would die. It's the pounding of poison. I mean, you hear it, which is what we all do. I mean, we hear the drumbeat of it, and then we die into 1,000 pieces of delusion. But there would be one exception, a person who did not die unexpectedly from this. The Mahayana Sutra, the great Parinirvana Sutra, is like this. It produces an audible sound everywhere, and those beings that do hear it will find their greed, anger, and delusion completely destroyed. I always thought, and I've been thinking, it comes up for me often in this kind of when there's civil unrest or disturbance, or Baker Roshi, my first teacher, saying that if one person walks through a square, and we could say in this way, instead of hearing the drumbeat of greed, hate, and delusion, here's the drumbeat of the part of emptiness, of wholeness, of interconnection, that it changes everything. That one person, that's why when I go to demonstrations, I wear my robe and my rakusu, because I really believe this, that how we be matters. We're going to get onto that again. Okay. And even among the ones who really just took in the poison, they will think about things yet in a way that will, it will open them. It will, and they will gradually, and it will lead them to the highest bodhi, to the highest compassion, to the highest love. So even if it doesn't change you in a moment, and even if you heard nothing but what was being said as a defilement instead of just a moment of everything shattering, the whole universe open, just the very fact that you were exposed right now and to the koan, you're already awakened. It's just that's the path of practice. That's what's so cool about this, is you're already awakened. It's just choice. You'll see that in a minute. And here's one last one from Zuki. A lightning-like stratagem that confuses both people and gods, A single blow smashes it to bits, suffusing the world with light. Great wisdom can seem foolish, great skill can seem clumsy, and even Gautama Buddha had to learn how to train his unruly mind. You have to practice, continuous practice. And then here's some great images that I just kind of couldn't not put away. The elephant's carriage proceeds along the road with slow dignity. How could a praying mantis even think of stopping its advance? You want to say something wise and zen and whatever you think you want to be. They just talk about elephants and praying mantises. I think that's kind of cool. In front of a crowd of hundreds, his lips curl into a smile. He conveys the teaching directly without lodging it in words. So the elephants come from the Song of Enlightenment and is used to symbolize the great bodhisattva who steadily advances along the path, unswayed by those of lesser insights who attempt to pull him this way and that. Just like walk like Suzuki Roshi. I think it's in Zen Mind, Beginner's Mind. He just says, walk like an elephant. Walk like an elephant. What is that? And the praying mantis may be from another sutra. Don't you know about the praying mantis angrily waving its arms? It blocks the path of an onrushing chariot, not realizing that the task is far beyond it. It's just a praying mantis completely being a praying mantis. Okay. Zen peacemakers. Want a little more normal explanations here? Commentary is the term world honored one is another term for Buddha, and Buddha means the awakened one. What did he wake up to? What did she wake up to? The nature of reality as it is. We are who we are in this moment. We can choose to change what we are in this moment. Whatever we choose, that is reality as it is. There's a choice in each moment. And whatever it is, that's reality. And it penetrates us and it penetrates everybody and everything, including past, present, and future. There's no responsibility here. just know that's, I mean, in the deepest sense of reality, that's the truth of it. We can be a sober Buddha, a drunk Buddha, a soldier Buddha, or a saintly Buddha. Whatever we choose, we remain Buddha if we do not realize this. Whatever we choose, we remain Buddha, even if we do not realize this. No matter what life we choose, we remain from the very beginning all the way through the world honored one. So if you look at what's happening in LA, everybody there is a Buddha in that moment, completely enacting their own Buddhahood within the best capacity of what they are in that moment. And we each have a choice and we each have a possibility. So I think, wow, we got pretty good karma. We know something about vow and living as a bodhisattva. So, and we're all deluded, but what are we going to do? Coming or going, ascending the platform or stepping down from it, the truth is just like this. Where would you like your life to take you now? Where would you like your life to take you now? Okay, so I had to add this in because this is, so I'll confess. Part of where my life is taking me now is that there was because we know what's happening on the news, and we know that there's another big protest happening on Saturday, and whether you go or not, how you be and how we be each moment really matters. So I logged on to American Civil Liberties Union, know your rights, and there were 16,000 people logged on. So there's something happening here, and it's not going to go away. And it's up to each one of us. So Peter Coyote is a Zen teacher. I ran into him in town the other day. Peter Coyote's a trip. He's an old hippie. He's an old protester. He's an old. I mean, Peter Coyote is just Peter, and so he said, I've found some people were passing around, is that he taught a class at Harvard about the theater of protest and about how important it is. It's like how you present what you're doing and what you think you're doing. Of course, this is about every moment is the most important thing. And he was saying, really pay attention, because if you just get caught up in, what did he say? Wake up, vent at home, when you're in public, use discipline, and I can't remember.
Dressed like you're going to church.
Yeah, and yeah, that kind of a feeling, which would probably be the truth for all of us all the time if we were paying attention, is how do we really want to present in the world? So here's what he said about protests, whether you go or not. I think I found this helpful. A protest is an invitation to a better world. It's a ceremony. No one accepts a ceremonial invitation when they're being screamed at. More important, you have to know who the real audience of the protest is. And then he names, but I think essentially what he's saying is the audience is never the other. The minute you think in any situation, there's you and something other out there, you're completely, and of course, that's what we're working out all the time, greed, hate, and delusion. It's the poison drum. And if we can remember moment after moment, he essentially says the real point is to help us return to our humanity, to remember our humanness, and to help us remember what we can trust. So the little bit of the training that I heard was great. I mean, it was really important information, and it was just that, it was information, which actually I thought, if you're going to a protest and you're going to plow into the middle of things, you should really know this stuff. But I didn't hear anybody, and maybe I missed it on either side, say, breathe, feel your feet. Where are you in time and space? What's the most important thing? You know, all those things that this is what we want to be doing all the time. Get up from the seat, sit down on the seat, get up from the seat. Each thing shatters and cuts through the whole universe. That's what bodhisattvas know. And we make lots of mistakes because we're human, but that's how we wake up. Okay. That was all in case one. It's like that these things do have, they seem so obscure, but I think it has something to say about right now. So you could talk about any of this. The Zen Peacemaker question is, where would you like your life to take you now? Where are you now? And what's important? That is just this. We're just like this. Good enough? Clear enough? You can make up anything you want, because wherever you go with this will be perfect. So why don't you just get in groups of 3 and just play, how about each person just kind of jump in and say an opening statement, just do a commentary and then talk together. And then I'll bring you back in 10, a little less than 15 minutes.